Good evening, everyone. This meeting of the Mayor and Council for August 18th is now called to order. Roll call, all council members are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for an invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Boyd, will you pray for us, please?
Will you pray with me? Lord Jesus, we thank you so much for today, and we thank you so much for the opportunity we have to gather together, Lord. We pray that you would bless our time tonight, Lord, that you would give wisdom and guidance to our city council members, Lord, and our city management and workers. Lord, I pray that you would give us guidance and wisdom on what to do that's best for our city and the citizens in our community. We love you, and it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Boyd. Okay, I have a few announcements. We have a planning commission meeting in this room at the Social Circle Theater. And by the way, thanks to the Social Circle Theater for allowing us to have our meeting here tonight. It's very nice. Planning Commission will be here on August the 25th. Can y'all hear me? No. How about now? Hello? How about now? I was told not to talk directly into this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Planning Commission meeting here, August the 25th. Tree Board meeting in our community room, August the 27th at 6 p.m. Our council work session, which we've moved to the first Thursday of each month, will be in the community room on September the 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Main Street Commission meeting, September the 5th at 8 a.m. at Church at the Grove. GIC meeting is to be announced. Historic Preservation Commission, that meeting is September the 8th at 10 a.m. And then we are back in here in this room for our council meeting on September the 15th. First on the agenda tonight, we are honored to have House Representative Bruce Williamson here with us to make a couple of presentations. So, Mr. Williamson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to the honorable city council members here for allowing me to come and make this presentation tonight. At Mayor Keener's suggestion, I thought I might face the audience and call up Brianna Groves to recognize her for outstanding achievement of achieving the highest rank the gold that the Girl Scouts of America offers, and that is the Gold Award. And Brianna, I enjoyed chatting with you back there. You're obviously a bright young lady, and she's going to the University of Georgia, already checked in over there, so we know there's nothing wrong with having one more pretty bulldog than Athens. So, and I meant to thank the city council and the mayor for nominating you for this award. So, the Georgia House of Representatives, to which the citizens of Walton County have given me the honor of going up there and representing you in the General Assembly and the House of Representatives, we have a process where we try to recognize outstanding achievement. And it always gives me a great deal of pleasure when I can recognize our young achievers such as yourself. So I think the mayor had already mentioned it to you in an email, but what's important about this resolution is unanimous by the Georgia House of Representatives, and it goes into the permanent archives of the House of Representatives. So with that being said, I'm going to read it for the public to hear. This is House Resolution 1396 by Representative Williamson for the 115th District, which is Walton County. And it says a resolution commending and congratulating Brianna Groves and for other purposes. Now you got to remember, this is written by the House of Representatives lawyers, so we're going to go through a little bit of legalese. Whereas Brianna Groves has earned the highest and most prestigious award in Girl Scouting, the Girl Scout Gold Award, and whereas requirements for this award include leadership activities, a service project, and the completion of a Gold Award project that is sustainable and has measurable outcome, and whereas for her project, Brianna Groves addressed the lack of knowledge in her community about the history of Social Circle, Georgia, by creating an app that guides locals and visitors through a tour of 32 stops around town and includes separate video for each stop. And whereas Brianna, who is a native of Social Circle, Georgia, and is in Troop 10133, used all of her background skills, her knowledge of the Girl Scouts program, and the support and guidance of her troop advisors to complete her project and be honored with this prestigious award. And whereas this hardworking young woman has demonstrated outstanding integrity, and that's key, Brianna. Integrity is the first word in this, and I believe that it's that and your faith is the most important things you carry through life. But your integrity, honesty, and leadership, and is a positive role model for young women in the Girl Scouts program and throughout this state. And whereas the perseverance and determination displayed by this exceptional young leader set an example for all Georgians, and great success is surely in this young woman's future. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of this body commend Brianna Groves for her diligence and dedication in pursuing the highest honor awarded by the Girl Scouts program, and congratulate her on earning the Girl Scout Gold Award. And be it further resolved that the Clerk of the House of Representatives is authorized and directed to make an appropriate copy of this resolution available for distribution to Brianna. And it was read and adopted March the 4th, 2020, just a week before our outbreak of COVID, signed by William L. Riley, Clerk. And what's important about this is it becomes part of the permanent archives of the state of Georgia. So when you're helping your son or future son or daughter study government, Georgia government, you can point them, they can look and go to the archives and find a copy of this resolution honoring your service. So it'll be there for generations to come. And I'm very proud to be able to honor you with this resolution. So it's suitable for framing. Honor you.
Mr. Williams?
No,
Can I get a picture with her off, with the mask off?
She doesn't mind.
where's
Hold over with it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the other family member could not be here, but we do have video behind us.
Okay.
So if you will, read his resolution as well.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. Did you get it? Dan?
Yeah.
Right.
Before I dropped it.
Yeah, we didn't.
Thank you.
All right, the mayor's asked me to go ahead and read our Eagle Scout resolution. Is this yours?
Yes.
I'm sorry that Mason couldn't be with us here, but we have a similar resolution honoring Mason Lawrence for the outstanding achievement of reaching Eagle Scout. And I understand that Brianna's dad is an Eagle Scout from way back here in Social Circle. And as the proud father of 4 Eagle Scout sons, I told Brianna that we didn't have a girl. We've got our first daughters in the family in a generation, and we have 2 little granddaughters, so we're looking forward to them being Girl Scouts, and hopefully they can do as well as Brianna. But this resolution is going to honor Mason Lawrence. It says, whereas Mason Lawrence has attained the rank of Eagle Scout, the most distinguished rank conferred by the Boy Scouts of America, and whereas the candidate for the most exceptional award in scouting must complete a rigorous program of training and demonstrate his proficiency in selected scouting techniques and the attainment of the highest ideals of scouting, and whereas only 1 scout out of every 97 ever reaches this lofty level of achievement, and Mason has ably evidenced his aptitude and competency in mastering the various special skills taught through the Boy Scouts of America program. And whereas this hardworking young man has demonstrated great leadership skills and initiative and has truly exhibited a commitment to the scouting principles of honesty and fairness during his years in the Scouts program. And whereas during his time as a scout, Mason has dedicated many hours to serving his community and has earned distinction and recognition as a senior patrol leader and a member of the Order of the Arrow. And whereas a member of Troop 222, Mason revitalized Social Circle George by replacing 8 planters with 21 new galvanized planters and installing 6 additional trash receptacles for his Eagle Scout project. And whereas the perseverance and determination displayed by this exceptional young leader set an example for all Georgians, and great success is surely in this young man's future. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of this body commend Mason Lawrence for his diligence and dedication in pursuing the highest honor awarded by the Boy Scouts of America and congratulate him on attaining his prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. And it too will be in the permanent archives. So when you see any member of his family, if you see Mason, please congratulate him for me on behalf of all the people of Walton County.
That's correct, yes.
If I can swing around and put my citizen hat on for just a moment. Terry, as y'all all know, is Executive Director of the Walton County Chamber of Commerce, and is the mayor and several other you might have heard during a legislative forum the other day. I'm honored to be able to step up and try to help the chamber move into some new facilities. They have a long-standing relationship with the Walton County Development Authority in co-lease space, the co-use space in a county facility that's on its last legs. The Development Authority is moving out on its own, purchasing a building, and it's time for the Chamber of Commerce to do the same. We're going to kick off, we just kicked off a major fundraising drive that we're going to raise $480,000. And what I told the folks the other day is for over 7 decades, the Walton County Chamber of Commerce has been the heartbeat of business in this county. It's done outstanding work. We're reaping some of the rewards from the progressive leadership that's gone through that organization through these decades. Stanton Springs is not the least of an example, and this fine facility right here, and the benefactors behind it. So I just want to encourage all the cities of Walton County, especially the county government, to continue this great relationship with such a fine organization. And Terry Smiley is doing one fabulous job. As I travel all over the state, I keep hearing good things back about how we as leaders, and I'm talking about every city council person in our 7 cities, all of our 7 mayors. I know that our legislative delegation works well together, and I want to thank y'all for the great job y'all do. We're getting known far and wide as a county that we can have our disagreements, but we do it civilly, and we're always trying to keep the best interests of the people of Walton County at heart. So I'd just like to give that little plug as a citizen for the great job the Chamber's doing. So thank y'all for your time. And
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you for all you do for Walton County as well.
Thank you,
Let's give another round of applause for our HR recipients this evening. Next on the agenda, Ms. Smiley, if you will.
Bruce failed to mention that he was campaign chair, so anyway, thank you, Bruce. Okay, so Bruce sort of told you what the situation is with our building. You all are familiar with a lot of the programs that the Chamber does. I come and present to y'all annually about that. But did want to just tell you a little bit more about the capital campaign and what we're doing. So one of the programs you may not know about that the Chamber has under it is Walton Forward. And that is our education foundation that manages all of our education programs that we do with the schools, Adult Leadership Walton, Youth Leadership Walton, our Education Committee, Walton Proud, all of our education programs, including our governmental affairs program when we run the SPLOST campaign, for the cities in the county when SPLOST renewal comes up. All of that runs through our education foundation, which is Walton Forward. So because the Development Authority did purchase property separate from the Chamber, and their building just isn't large enough to house both operations, we are, our building will house, obviously, the Chamber and Walton Forward, our education foundation. Now, the education foundation doesn't have a staff. The Chamber manages and contracts with the foundation to handle those programs. Just wanted to make sure you understood that part of it. So we have semi-secured a building. The Walton Foundation has been very generous, and they have offered to purchase a building for us. It is on North Wayne Street, ironically, right around the corner from the building the Development Authority will be moving into in Monroe. And it is, the foundation has offered to purchase the building for us and lease purchase it back to us for 5 years to give us time to do the capital campaign and raise funds to purchase it back from them. So that's just sort of a background. So it will be moving into the facility. So basically what that means to you all, we will continue to do all the programs that we've been doing and hope to enhance some of those programs, especially the education programs, which we're really concerned about being able to do some of those programs in person with COVID restrictions now. So we're trying to go virtual with some of those programs in the school system. And of course, we continue to promote social circles events. We'll continue to manage SPLOS campaigns, which I know the cities and county depend on those funds for projects for your for the community. So we do have 2 representatives separate from the mayor. The mayor serves on our board, as well as Lisa Pearson with Pinnacle Bank and Ted Calloway with Social Circle ACE. All serve on our board of directors. The chamber's budget, a lot of people don't realize, I get asked all the time, well, you have county benefits or you have, county funding. Well, the county and city funding makes up 8% of our budget. The rest of the funds we have to raise through membership investments and fundraising and events. So it's really not a big percent of our budget now. And talking with some of the other cities, one of the things that some of the other city managers thought might be the easiest way for cities to help us with the capital campaign is through our annual contract that we already have with y'all. So currently the cities the cities in the county pay 40 cents per capita. And so our proposal is that be raised to $1 per capita for like a 3 to 4 year term. And the extra 60 cents per person would go to support the capital campaign, and the other would go into general operating, which is where it goes now. So that's our proposal. If you look in your folder that I gave you, on the left-hand side, it has the capital campaign brochure, but right behind that, it has the Exhibit A, as it always has been, at the 40 cents per capita, and then the next page shows the Exhibit A at $1 a person. And you'll see under Social Circle, that is an increase of $28.65 a year. And then it shows the total amount over a 3-year period, over a 4-year period. What questions do you have for me?
My question would be, after the 4 years, will it go back down to the 40 cents?
Yeah, so we're proposing that it either go down to 40 cents or something close to that. We've only had 1 increase since we've been under this plan. So it would be between 40 and 50 cents. But yes, it would go back to a much less amount.
Any other questions for Terry? Thank you, Terry.
Okay, thank you.
I was about to miss something here. Employee introduction and recognition.
Tonight, I'd like to provide a special recognition for an employee. Sometimes we are graced with the opportunity to work with people whose positive impact on us and our organization extends far longer than the period of time they are here. Jason Langley, our Public Works Director, is one of those individuals. Exceptionally humble and down to earth, Jason came to Social Circle with knowledge and understanding of water treatment, water distribution system dynamics, mechanical systems, and equipment operations, unmatched by most professional consultants and much larger agency directors. He is a listener, a learner, and a teacher. He has the rare ability to explain chemistry, fluid dynamics, and physics in very practical terms so that why something happened or is needed is easy to understand. His sincerity, honesty, and ethics are obvious and unwavering. His respect for, interest in, and concern about his coworkers is evident and demonstrated not by what he says, but by what he does. He can be found in a ditch, on the brush crew, or in the plant, depending on what is needed on any given day. Jason came to Social Circle from Alabama, where he was the executive director of a much larger organization, a water authority. He wasted no time in ascertaining that the public works needs were great and resources scarce, and got to work helping, enabling the public works staff to pursue solutions. He recognized the talent and commitment that was already here and fostered their efforts. He has observed numerous times that he has never worked with anyone who works as hard as our city workers. Citizens are not aware of how few people are taking care of the citywide mowing, brush chipping, water, sewer, and gas system needs day in, day out, in emergencies and in difficult conditions. I am not alone in expressing my regret that he is leaving, nor my gratitude that he chose to come to Social Circle. We understand and support that his commitment to the needs of his family is more important. We are a better organization for his presence, and the city will continue to reap the benefits for a long time into the future of his time here. There are a number of members of the Public Works Department that are here to thank Jason and may wish to say a few words.
Most people don't know me. My name is J.C. Wright. I'm the water superintendent of Social Circle. I've been here for 38 years and been only knowing Jason for a few months. And he's a good person. We're going to miss him. He did a lot of great things right here. And you can see some of the evidence too, like the water line, the sewer, the gas, and like Mr. Dale mentioned, there's many things that taking place. And with the help of Jason, the city manager, city council, and the mayor, and all the people that have a part in it, making things happen. And we're gonna miss you, Jason. I know like family will come first. I got an 83-year-old dad, and if something happened to him, I got to take care of him. And we love you, and our prayer go with you. I hope everything work out well.
My name's Beth Kenny, and I'm the ORC at the water treatment plant. And I just want to say Jason is such a quiet and humble person, and he has really brought the water plant a long way. He saw the need, and he didn't just step back. He showed us what needed to be done and helped us, and our water has greatly improved in the taste and in the quality of the water. And I, for one, am going to tremendously miss Jason, and I'm thankful that we've had him for the time we have.
Gas superintendent, and I was going to come up with a speech to talk about Jason, but he's only been here 6 months. But but let me tell you something. He's had an impact to the Public Works Department like he's been here 5-10 years. The man knows what he's talking about. He knows his subject matter. He brings a common sense approach to the job and can relate to everyone. And I got the utmost respect for Jason. He's very, like I said, he's very knowledgeable, and I really wish you well into the future, and my prayers are with you with your parents.
Hi, I'm Robbie Groves, and I work closely with Jason on several of the projects. And I have grown professionally and gained a lot of confidence working with him because he's helped me understand a lot of stuff going on, the workings of it, and he's always been to the point, honest, and fair, whether it be to me or to another employee. I have the utmost respect for Jason, and I will say I want to thank him for all he has helped me in my job and helped me understand the workings of the whole city. Thank you, Jason.
Jay Link. I run the wastewater plant, and I don't do public speeches, but even though Jason's been here for a short time, his impact has been quite remarkable. And I don't know if the city realizes how lucky they were to have him that short a time. Thank you.
Anyone else? Jason, would you like to say anything?
I believe in actions speak louder than words. But I'm going to tell y'all something. These employees that are here in Social Circle, like Ms. Shermer said, and I've worked for municipalities my entire life. This is all I've ever done. This is the best group of people I've ever worked with in my life. And you've got department heads that spoke up here that know the job and they love the city and they love what they do. You don't need a director. I always told them I was in logistics. I tried my best to get them what they needed to do the job. But they don't need somebody telling them what to do. They all got it. Every one of them. From Jay, Paul, Beth, Robbie, Miss Adele. And I will say this about the city manager. Whether I'm supposed to say it or not, I love her. She's a great person. She's one of the best bosses I've ever worked with. And at no time did I ever have a disagreement with her. And I think it was God's calling that I came here for the period that it was. And if it wasn't for personal reasons with my family, I'd still be here till y'all run me off. Social Circle is a great place. And I've got to know a lot of people here, from the coffee shop with you, Mayor, to being out on the street with the complaints that we get and trying to work through them, which I think they've done a great job doing. So that's really all I got to say. But I appreciate the opportunity.
As a city council member, to hear all those department heads speaking highly of you, Jason, that means that you made a tremendous impact on the city. And to hear you say that we have all the right people and that we have hardworking people, that means a lot to us as a city council to know that we have people that's out there in the ditches working hard for us and our citizens. And as just one city council member, the impact you sound like you had on our people here in the Social Circle, you're going to always be welcome here. So you go home and take care of family. If you ever need to come back here, then we'll see fit to try to figure out a way to make you more than welcome here, because it seems like in 6 months you have impacted our city tremendously, and we appreciate you for that.
Any other comments? Jason, I will say that I've only known you for a brief period of time, like most folks here in town, but what little I have known you, you certainly have had a great impact on the city, which is evident by the comments you heard here tonight. So we'll miss you. Like Councilmember Jackson says, if you ever need a place to come back to, you're welcome here. And thank you for all you did for Social Circle while you were here. And glad to call you my friend. Thank you. Sorry about that. Computer went to sleep on me. Miss Amber.
I just want to echo the statements made by Miss Adele and JC and Paul and Beth and Robbie. Jason's going to leave very big shoes to fill here in the city. Downtown rundown for August. Update on Back to School Bash. Our drive-through Back to School Bash was held on Sunday, August the 2nd at South Walton Park. I want to say thank you to all of the volunteers who helped to make the event a success. We were able to give out 315 supply bags at the bash. All supplies were moved to the Welcome Center, where we continued to give out around 25 more bags the week before school started. Since school has been in session, we've had several teacher requests for supplies and continue to deliver those to the schools as needed. If there are any needs for supplies from any school, they can be requested through the teachers, and we'll be happy to deliver those. Planning for the 26th Annual Friendship Festival is in full swing. We are currently have around 20 vendor applications. We are only allowing 55 to 60 vendors this year to spread everyone out. We will have hand washing and sanitizer stations spread throughout the event, and will encourage mask wearing. We have had great feedback from the community concerning our decision to move forward with the festival this year. Events for the rest of 2020, the following events in addition to Friendship Festival are what the Social Circle Main Street Commission has scheduled for 2020. We are continuing to plan these events with understanding that if we need to cancel due to COVID, we certainly will do so. We're going to do downtown trick-or-treating on October the 30th, the Christmas tree lighting and live nativity on November the 20th, and Christmas in the Circle on December the 4th. The city is excited to partner with the Social Circle Lions Club and Church at the Grove to do a food distribution in downtown. This will be a drive-through pickup, and we are hoping to start by August the 28th, which is next Friday, and do this each Friday through the end of September. We want to take this opportunity to reach our citizens who have not completed the 2020 census. We will have volunteers help with the census, which only takes 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Everyone needs to be counted, and this way we may reach some that are not on social media and help them complete the process. We will receive around 1,900 boxes of produce each week to distribute, and it will be open for everyone. Any questions?
Thank you, Amber. Next up, under citizens' request, we have Bishop Davenport with a presentation.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to do this, and I thank you for the ministers and other community leaders that are here. If you don't mind, I'll just give you guys a copy of the letter itself, and then I'll read it. You guys, you want it back, so you guys have it sit down from there. Fantastic. All right, guys, thanks for this opportunity to do this. What I'll do as far as I'll go ahead and read the letter. So I won't ask you guys to get your Bible and turn to any scripture and stuff, and I won't pass the plate. So that way we'll be able to do this. And I want to thank you for the ministers that are here, as well as community leaders. If you guys raise your hand, I want to ask you to stand, amen, for those that are here, associate ministers as well. The letter basically says as far as over the last few months, we, as local pastors, community leaders, and the social circle, have gathered together to pray, discuss, and brainstorm how we can make a positive impact in our community. Our hearts break over the racial injustice and senseless killing of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and many others. We have seen thousands, if not millions, of people around the world, in our community as well, take to the streets to protest, collectively saying things need to change. Collectively, as a group, we desire to work together to bring a positive change in our community. The church is a family. However, Sunday morning continues to be the most segregated hour of the week. For far too long, the church, especially predominantly white churches, have remained silent and on racial issues, either intentionally or unintentionally, ignoring the racial injustice that exists in our world today. We say that we love one another, but the sin of racism continues to put our faith to the test. Christians must be willing to lay aside our political, family, and personal mindset in order to follow the ways of Jesus, seeking righteousness and justice. We as pastors and community leaders agree to work together to lovingly lead the people to understand the racial injustice and tensions in our community and work to build bridges towards equality, equity, as well as reconciliation. We will accomplish this by doing the following: educating people on the racial issues in our community, initiating discussion groups that allow people to safely share their perspective and experience around race, partner with government leaders to change or remove all laws or policies that are unfair and harmful towards a particular segment of the population, work with local law enforcement to ensure officers have the necessary training and attitude when it comes to race. This will include a Citizen Accountability Review Board. Trust that you guys will consider and look at that. Set up community worship gatherings to bring people from all races together. Facilitate service opportunities so people of all races can work together to bring the love of Jesus to our community. Bridge the age gap among our community by creating intergenerational events that connect older adults with the youth and young adults. Provide a cultural exposure opportunities for youth and young children. Social Circle is an incredible, let me say that again, it is an incredible community. And we believe our little city can become an example for other communities on how to properly deal with racial issues. The late John Lewis said, "We are one people. We are only family. And when we finally accept these truths, then we will be able to fulfill Dr. King's dreams to build a beloved community, a nation, and a world at peace with itself," end quote. We fervently pray and petition our community and elected officials to join us in bringing about a positive change and not allow indifference to become the predominant attitude. We, the undersigned, respectfully submit this letter to our local elected officials and community. Yours truly, Bishop Davenport, Pastor Boyd, Pastor Malcolm, Pastor Smith, Pastor Mars, Pastor Sorrell, Pastor Harvey, Dr. Gray, Pastor Flagger, Minister Griffey, Doris Gibbs as a college student, Dr. Hooker, Superintendent, Amber McKibben, Downtown Director, and we have others also. But we just want to say to you guys, thank you for this opportunity. We trust that as church leaders and pastors, that we are addressing the issues as they need to be addressed, but also lovingly and kindly instructing our members and the community as the ways of Christ, so that we can reflect that in the life that we live. Thank you for this opportunity. If there are any questions, and certainly I'd be more than happy to answer any of those. If any of you would care for a copy of the letter that we have presented to the city, then we'll make that available to you as well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Bishop Davenport. Are there any questions from the council?
Bishop.
Yes.
Do you all have any plans to have any activities to work directly with the city? Anything we can partner with to?
Yes, as far as I think most of the churches are engaged and involved in a lot of the activities that the city actually have existing going on. We're looking to create additional opportunities and to also, hopefully, as far as interchange or have an opportunity for the different age groups as well as race groups to talk lovely about race and about injustice and resolve any of those issues that we can. But certainly, we're open to any suggestions that the city may have in addition to what we will be coming up with. We're continuing to meet and we'll continue to discuss how we can better bring about a positive change for our community. All right.
Anything else?
Guys.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Do we have any council requests? Hearing none, we have, do we have a motion for an agenda approval? Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have a public hearing for 492 South Cherokee Road, a variance for an A-frame portable carport. Ms. Barbara.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. You have before you this evening an application for a variance for 492 South Cherokee Road. This is for a portable garage or carport that was placed on the property. The process, it went through the process for the Planning Commission, also went to the Historic Commission. On a variance, it is based on the hardship of the land. You have some pictures attached to your package. If you look where the carport is placed, Miss Frida Anglin owns this property. Her daughter is here to represent her tonight, Anne Marie Thurman. They have been parking in this spot ever since Miss Anglin's lived there. And if you look in the backyard pictures, it slopes. And even if they took the fence down and tried to put it in the backyard, the lay of the land just did not allow for that carport to be safely put in the backyard. So Miss Anglin had that placed there. She did go before the Historic Preservation Commission on July the 14th. The metal carport does not fit the historic guidelines. However, since the carport is portable and it's already in place, the Historic did vote to approve the metal carport to stay in place. They did also request that if the house ever sold, it would be removed. In the guidelines for the variance, the lay of the land, once the Planning Commission heard it, you have to base your decision on the lay of the land. So when that is done and you give a variance for that carport, it does not have to be removed in the future. The Planning Commission made a motion to approve it, to have the variance issued and to leave the metal carport where it's at. It does match the color of the house in the front yard, and it is in the front yard. In the staff report, the applicant provided a plat, the property, and the pictures to show the topography of the property, and they are included in your package. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And Miss Anne Marie is also here to represent her mom.
Ms. Marie, would you like to speak?
I think Barbara covered all the details, so I just came to make sure if y'all had any questions, I could answer them. So.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, your name is Anne Marie Thurman?
Anne Marie Thurman, yes.
Thank you.
Representing Frida Anglin. That's
Thank
my
you.
mother.
Are there any questions for Ms. Thurman? Okay, hearing none from the council, this is a public hearing, so we'll open it for public comment. If there is anyone here to speak in favor of this request, please step forward. Seeing none, anyone here to oppose this variance request? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the council for a decision.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission without the removal of delete the historical preservations thing.
Okay. Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item are the financial statements.
Thank you. Ms. Fricks was unable to be here this evening, so we have bar charts on the screen behind you. And what you have in your packet are the preliminary financial statements, again, for last fiscal year, which ended in June, which I won't go through in detail because we'll continue refining as the final bills and revenue come in that are attributable to last fiscal year. Just to suffice it to say, we did it does appear that we ended the year on target with our revenues and our expenses. So what you do have also in your packet are the monthly financial statements for July, the first month of the new fiscal year. And those bar charts are also on the screen behind you, and I think in your packet. So in the general fund, the revenue was at 4.6% for the first month of the fiscal year as compared to 2% at this time last year. And our expenditures are at 9% as compared to 6% at this time the prior year. And that's attributable to some purchases of vehicles that happened as soon as the fiscal year started that were budgeted. In the water fund, our revenues are at 5%, as compared with 4.5% after 1 month last year, and our expenditures are at 5% as compared to 3% at this time last year. And 1 month would be 8%. So, and the billing lags a little bit in our enterprise funds. So we are on target with where we need to be in water. In gas, the revenues are at 5.5%, and that is where they were last year at this time. And our expenses are at 11%, whereas the prior year were at 2%, and that's because we've jumped right into our capital projects in the gas system. And finally, in solid waste, our revenues are at 7.8%, and our expenses are at 7%. So we are also on target with where we should be for the year. I'll be happy to answer any questions council may have.
Questions for Ms. Sherman? Do we have a motion to approve the July results?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Sherman, if you will, as we have done in the past, if you will go over the consent agenda with us, please.
Certainly. Within the consent agenda, you have minutes approvals for the July 29th, 2020 work session, council meeting, and executive session, and then also minutes approvals for the August 6th work session and executive session. You also have a resolution naming your ethics officer, which is, as council is aware, a requirement of the ethics ordinance that you adopted earlier. And then you have a resolution within your packet for the CARES grant, which is the sharing of state revenues from the Federal CARES Act with cities. So this resolution authorizes the acceptance of the city share and then the appropriations of those funds to pandemic response purposes. Then we have the appropriation to the current FY 2021 gas fund budget for the gas system extension. Those funds were remaining in last fiscal year, but as July, we turned from June to July, we need to appropriate them to this year. Then there is also an intergovernmental agreement with Walton County for permits and inspection of the South Walton Community Center. You have two versions in the consent agenda. The second with the county attorney edits are what should be approved. It's acceptable with the city attorney. That basically allows Walton County to issue building permit and inspect the community center, which the county is also funding under the SPLOST, and it will also be operated by the county. That saves cost for the project. Then we have a relocation agreement with Georgia Power for the Guy Y anchors at the traffic signal that is at the intersection of Cherokee and Hightower. Then there is a listing of vehicles and equipment to be surplused, which is consistent with the equipment operations and depreciation schedule that we went over in a prior work session. And finally, authorization of renewing our health insurance and benefit dollar program. The health insurance was rebid and came in at a 5% increase, which is excellent. We are recommending staying with the current provider, Humana, who we've done well with over the past year with the city. And it's within budgeted dollars. I'd be happy to answer any questions council may have.
If there are no questions, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Can I make an amendment? I'd like one item removed, which would be table the surplus of vehicles thing temporarily.
So 11?
Item 11,
You wanna
table
pull-
that.
You want to pull it out for further discussion, or just table it?
Just table it.
Teresa, will you amend?
I would like to amend my motion to table item 11, surplus vehicles and equipment.
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Smiley, we didn't put it on tonight, but I'm going to recommend for your presentation that we put that on our September agenda for approval, if that's okay.
Add it to the work session just to make sure we discuss it too.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, under old business, we have naming of the Robert Howard Bridge to Justice.
Mr. Mayor, could I make a motion, please?
Yes, sir.
I would like to make a motion to delay the vote on this item for 1 month. Give us a chance to take a look at a much better way to honor Mr. Howard. I think we can do better than just naming the bridge after him.
Okay, we have a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay?
Nay. Nay.
Okay, we have a tie. I'll agree with the ayes on this simply because I too believe that there needs to be a little more time for discussion on this without rushing into it. So I believe your motion to table was for a month, so we'll bring it back to the next council meeting.
Can we bring it back to a work session for discussion?
We can do that. Susan, we'll add that to the September 3rd work session for discussion, and then we'll move it to the agenda on the 8th, or whatever that date is. Okay, new business, do we have any? I don't know of any new business. We do have an executive session. I'll need a motion for executive session for personnel, real estate, and potential litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Brianna, do you want to hang around for a second and take a picture maybe with the council and your ward? I'd like to do that if it's okay with you. So we'll pause for about 5 minutes before we go into the executive session.